Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back for the third time with one musician, one CD. And today, my guest is
Chris Ivan.
Chris Ivan, who is a friend of mine.
Yes.
And this is his third time on here. I actually created one musician, one CD for him. And
Really? I
and
didn't know that.
yeah, this is all for you. Yeah. And
Oh,
yeah, which is why I'm always happy to have you on. So and this is your new CD. And what's the name of your new CD?
Ivan. Kind of like a self-titled.
Oh, is it I because it's more personal?
Yes.
Okay. And there are 12 tracks. 11 of them I heard,
Yes.
but number 12 is missing. Why is track 12 missing?
Well, track 12, no one has heard other than me and the producer. And I I wanted it like that because I didn't want no one's opinions. I didn't want because the whole album was about transparency and honesty. And I didn't want someone else or a group or anything to block that transparency. Um, so I didn't let you hear it. I didn't let the person that I wrote the song about hear it. But yeah, the song is called JL.
And without hearing it, I'm pretty sure I know who that is. And but we'll wait for the album to come out to say anything
Most people
specific.
are going to like expect it, but I will say that JL means something completely different from what people would expect me to
Oh,
think
okay.
about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So something to look forward to then. A little mystery
Yes.
there. Okay. And I have here, because you're as of this recording, the actual album, the CD has not come out yet.
Hmm.
So you let me listen to kind of like a what would you call it? Like a promo or like a an
I mean,
advanced copy?
yeah, I would say advanced.
Okay. So I don't have a physical copy of it. And but I do have here's your first album here.
Yes, biggest battle. Is that biggest battle?
Oh no, wait. This is your second one. Hold on, I grabbed the wrong I had them in the wrong order. Biggest Battle. Here we go. And you even signed it for
Yes,
me. There you go.
yes. Biggest battle was my first album that I released in 2020. Absolutely love that album. Um, I feel like with that album I was just testing the waters. I didn't really know what type of direction I want. I mean, there was so much inspiration, and I had the ability to create music at that time. So I did a little bit of everything. Um, love that album. Absolutely adore that album. I would say my favorite song from that album is probably DTS.
Oh, okay. Because what is yeah, because you got there's you like featuring people, which is good. And I
Yes.
think is it on this one? I'm not sure if it's on this one. There was is it Black Glitter? I think is the one that I really liked from
Yeah,
from this
Black
one.
yeah, Black Glitter is on Biggest Battle, which is another favorite song from mine from that album. But yeah, Black Glitter's there.
Yeah,
And you were in the
this
music video.
what about the music video?
Weren't you in the music video for Black Glitter?
I have not been in any of your music videos. I haven't worked on any of them. We
What?
talk,
I thought you were.
yeah, no, and unless I was just put in there by mistake or something. No, we had talked about it, and it was because of my work schedule that you guys shoot during the
Mm,
day and I work during the day. But
yeah,
when like you and Joe do the movie stuff, it's normally at night, and I can do
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
I'm still waiting for that. So I
Soon,
so yes, yeah. I mean, I
very
would love
soon.
to. So and then the second one here, which has the I mean, on here your face is coming off. On this one, like your face is melting.
Yes. And my face is melting. I feel like that's what happens when like you're trying to be I would say that album is a very promiscuous, sexy, like kind of like testing the waters and what you like and what you don't like. So I would say like when you're high, you feel like everything's melting.
Oh, okay. And you signed this one for me too.
Yes.
So
This is the first time that you don't have the CD before we do the interview, I think.
yeah, yeah. But I really wanted to hear what what we were talking about, because that's important to me. So it's and of course I constantly bring up the Focus on Me song,
Yes.
because that's one of my favorite songs on the album. So it's I like your stuff, and this has some remixes on it and different versions, and you know
Hmm.
so it's I think you're good, man. I think it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when, you know
Yes.
because of things happening. And this one is, how long did it take you to work on Ivan?
2 years.
2 years? And a
Yeah.
lot has changed within 2 years. Does it reflect that?
Um, yes. Yes and no. I I mean, how would I say this? I mean, when I started the album, um, they were the really poppy, like fun songs off of Ivan. And then, I mean, as you've heard, um, they took a drastic turn, and I put those drastic songs before all the fun poppy,
Pardon
even though that the beats may not like be compatible with the lyrics. Um, the message of the songs in the beginning half of Ivan are very deep.
Yeah, I mean you have interesting titles. These titles seem to be a little bit more straightforward than,
uh,
because and we'll discuss these, but you have songs like Toxic or
mm,
Heroin,
mm.
Step by Step, where maybe like on the first one there are things like Control, but it's spelled a little differently, where it's the the C, and then the what's the like C,
uh,
what's that, the the line that goes beneath, what is it? I'm blanking, but then it's like
Not a
NTR.
hyphen.
Yeah, it's, oh god, I have it right in my head too, but it's spelled differently. And then there's just like, yeah, DTS. And it seems like you're, well, yeah, Beautiful Warrior, stuff like that is, let's see on here, maybe I'm just totally making something up.
I know Beautiful Warriors and Biggest Battle wasn't even on the album. Those were like singles. But that
Oh
was
really?
definitely from the first era. Yeah, because Biggest, actually, no. On, I forgot, on the physical CD, they are bonuses, but on digital, they're not on the album.
Yeah, yeah, it says bonus tracks right here, yeah. And those are
Yeah, I
both
forgot
material
about that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on this one, so let's get into it. So I Pisces is the first song. So the letter I, comma, Pisces. Um,
Mm-hmm.
now I took it that it's about family. Am I
Mm-hmm.
correct? Or am I wrong on that one?
See, no, yeah, that is definitely about family. I wouldn't say it's all about my immediate family. I mean, there's sections throughout the song. Um, I first start off the song directing that towards a specific individual within my family, kind of letting that person know what they put me through, and that um, I was kind of like letting it go. Like I couldn't allow that torture or torment kind of just like ruin my life. Um, but then throughout the song, I categorize another like group of my family. So yeah, I would say it's about family.
How, when you write something like that, do they know? Do you tell them it's about them, or it's about family? How do they feel about it?
I mean, I could really care less how they feel about it.
Okay.
Because it's first they're not paying the studio session. I'm an independent artist. I can write whatever the fuck I want to sing about. If they don't like it,
Nice.
then change your actions. And for the longest time, I used to dictate my life of according to how they would like something or perceive something. And I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I don't care. And for my own happiness, I kind of have to just separate myself from them.
So is it's kind of like when somebody writes a book and they include somebody in it, but they don't really say who it is, but that person figures it out. I mean, that person isn't writing the book. They're not paying for the publishing. They're
Hmm.
not, so it's kind of like I added
It's
you in,
it's.
you know?
I mean, I've kind of done that a little throughout every album. Um, but I will definitely say that when I get to my fourth or fifth album, um, that writing songs about family just will no longer exist because I'm the chapter has ended with writing songs about family and love them from afar. Um, but it's just like the ups and downs of family, and I just wanted to kind of write that without kind of holding back. I feel like I didn't hold back much in that song, and yeah.
No, yeah, it's. Do you ever write something with the intention of hurting a person?
um, no. Well, no, intentionally, no, because why would I want to hurt someone that has hurt me? Like that would two wrongs don't make a right. And I definitely don't see adding fuel to a fire would benefit anything. So, I mean, if they are hurt by that, I think that is a serious time that, I mean, they could reflect in the mirror and ask themselves questions. But I mean, I didn't lie.
So it's what about something like, like the gangers used to do, when they would rap, they would always comment and make suggestions on their songs about, hurting each other and all that type of stuff. Would you ever do just anything of just like, oh, you better stay out of my life or this, this type of thing? Or is that just not your type of a flavor of music?
That isn't my flavor of music. And I definitely, yeah, I'm just not the one to be, this is it. If you argue, no, I don't like that. I used to be like that. I mean, if certain events had occurred within the past 2 years, maybe when I first wrote my first album, I would have probably like emptied the clip and wrote everything that I wanted and didn't think twice. But, you know, as I've grown up, there's just certain things that don't need to be said to everything. I don't need to have a reaction for everything. And sometimes if I open up my mouth and I say something, I give that person that satisfaction and acknowledge that they had made me feel some type of way, whether it was bad or sad. So no, do I have songs for myself that I've never released and it's just a song for myself? And do I say the worst things? Absolutely, but those songs are for me. I get it out in my music, but I wouldn't release that because not everything is the world's information. Because once this album's out, it's not mine anymore. Any and everyone's gonna know everything that I went through. And there's just certain things that are just meant for me, and I find peace in that.
Would you ever release those songs to, like, let's say a fan type thing where if you're a fan, you can listen to this music that I wouldn't let somebody else listen to?
You know, I thought about releasing a couple demo versions on the deluxe version of the physical CD. Um, but that's probably gonna be like the only, the closest thing that if you buy the physical CD, you'll hear like some demos and things, but releasing it publicly and like streaming services, no.
Okay. So the second song on there is Toxic, and
Mm,
I took it that Toxic was about you.
yeah, I feel like I mean I mean I feel like there's tendencies that I do that can be very toxic, and I really had a wide awake, I would say, of 2023, and all of 2023 was like a real learning curve for me. And not only was it damaging, um, but it was a rough journey. But now I've learned so many valuable lessons because of certain events happening that it's kind of catered me to who I am today. And I mean, what? I mean, you could either be okay with being toxic and being like, this is who I am, fuck it. You don't like it, like move on. Or you could do a real like soul search and like look within and be like, hey, like certain things are not working, certain things are hurting people, certain things are not who you want to be. And I just talk about that because I mean, most people will be very egotistic and be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. Look at this, look at that." And I'm not like that. I don't like to just glorify like the good things because people go through shit. And I will talk about my shit instead of just putting it's kind of like social media. On social media, you only see the good part of people's lives, but you never really
That's true.
what they're really going through. And this is that album for me where it's not just it looks good and music sounds pretty. No, like the lyrics are definitely telling the story.
So do you feel with this one being more personal that if somebody who didn't know you listened to it, that they would know about you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I mean, I don't know if you picked up on it, but there is definitely a storyline of how the songs kind of like go in order. They would absolutely know a lot about me and know the struggles that I go through and like the amazing things that I also love. But Ivan was definitely an amazing process. I learned a lot. I mourned a lot. And I learned some valuable lessons that I could only really tell because it's my story. And I hope that the story reaches out to other people and connects to other people as well.
With making something so personal and having songs like Toxic and other things, do you feel that like somebody would be like, oh, well, if this album is all about him doing these type of things, oh, do you feel that it's that somebody should listen to it in more of a this is me bearing my soul, this is who I am, this is accept me or not, like don't judge me, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Is it more, if you me being a filmmaker, if I make a movie, I don't want somebody to think maybe I'm somebody who robs banks. Like
mm,
if it's that type of thing, it's like, no, it's just about a movie who guy who robs banks, or a guy maybe whose mother is dying of cancer. Maybe that did
yeah,
happen to me. So
yeah.
is it more of a kind of these songs are on my sleeve. This is don't judge me because I'm telling you who I am.
I think that I mean, I definitely wear my emotions on my sleeve. It's kind of me just bearing my soul. And I mean, if you judge me for speaking from my soul, then this music really isn't for you. I mean, that's the great thing about music is that there is an artist for anyone and everyone out there. Maybe I'm not your cup of tea. That's fine. But I do know that there is a group and there's a whole generation um, who go through the things that I've went through and are still going through. So, it's me singing from my soul. And if you just don't like it, thank you for listening to it, giving it a try. But I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I've learned that.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all can't like everything. I don't like everything. I have my own type of
Yeah,
music that I like, but I am open-minded enough to listen to things that I mean, some friends have given me CDs and they rap and I listen
yeah,
to it and it's like this isn't for me. I'm sorry. It's
yeah,
just it's not you you may not even want to ask me what I think of it because I can't honestly tell you what I liked or not
yeah.
because it's not my type of music. So sorry. But I like what you do and I mentioned this to you not too long ago where it almost has a because it's electronic kind of a science fiction feel to me and it has kind of that techno dance that I like.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
and so for me, I enjoy listening to your stuff, which is why, I've asked you many times, like, how's the CD going and when is it coming out? Because looking forward to it. And
thank you.
so, oh yeah, sure, you're welcome. And and want to talk about it on here. Um, so now the next one is called Heroin. And I
Hmm.
told you before we started this, like some of these I didn't want to do like, well, are you heroin? Is somebody heroin? But it's I don't really know of any other questions to kind of ask about that. So what does the song heroin mean?
I mean, off the bat, I mean, everyone knows that heroin is a drug, and it's a very like addictive drug that people get hooked on, and it brings people a lot of emotions who take it, and they have this high, they feel great, they feel wonderful, and then they crash. And then when they crash, Lord have mercy, it's just not a good feeling. It doesn't feel good, so you need more of it. And I wrote this song about someone who I desperately wanted to keep in my life. But then I realized that the more that I tried to please the person, the more that I just realized that I was never going to be good enough. And that could be, people can definitely be a drug. And for me, this was someone I grew up with my whole life. They were there from the day I was born, and they're still here. But I just kind of wanted to put that into um, an artistic form. And not only is that song just a song off the album, I mean that's the also the theme song for the Mortal Worst of Case Paradox.
Oh, okay, yeah, which is coming out soon. So yeah, which
Yes.
both of us are involved in. So which is pretty cool. That's nice. I was actually going to ask you your song should be part of movies, like in title
Yeah.
credits or somewhere in the movie or something like that. So it's
Yeah.
it's good to have it as part of that film. So
Yeah, so that the whole music video actually for that song is literally catered to the Mortal Wars the Case Paradox, which that in itself is like a whole nother teaser trailer where Joe Lujan and I sat down, and certain things are going, I mean, a lot of things are going to be shown in the music video that you're not going to see in the movie, and you're not even going to see in the official trailer that he released. So that's going to be a whole um, separate thing as the music video, and a whole nother way for us to kind of advertise the movie.
oh, okay, good. Yeah, yeah, for people who don't know, Joe Lujan is a local filmmaker here out in Vegas, and he has a mini series, but the one that we're referring to is the Immortal Wars, and you can watch, I think, all of them right now on Tubi. If you live
Yeah,
there, and it's a whole series, and both Chris and I are part of that, and it's something that I'm
yeah.
very happy to be part of. And
It, it took 4 years, John. Can you believe that?
4 years, that's amazing. Yeah, because I'll let people know, as I'm sure we've discussed this in the other videos, but you also act. So
Mm-hmm.
and how many films with Joe do you think you've acted in?
Uh, Maybe like five, six.
Okay.
Actually, the thing about it is just, I mean, I don't act in every one. every single one that he like works on. I'm very like selective. I'm behind the scenes on all of them, but yeah,
I'll act in
acting.
anything. So
I mean, there's a few that like I know of that are coming up that he's going to be doing that I definitely want to be a part of. Um, but yeah, I think I've only been in Lost Souls and um the Harris for a short scene, and then I mean the Case Paradox. I mean, yeah, only a few.
Joe should do a musical, and he can get
I
you
won't
to
say
sing.
anything.
And oh, okay, all right. You just said something. You just said something pretty big. So
I
all right.
mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Uh,
see.
okay, all right, okay. Yeah, that would be interesting.
It
Um,
would.
and then track number 4 is Picture on the Shelf.
Mm,
And that's one that when I listened to it twice, I'm like, I'm not sure where I could place this. Because heroin, I took, okay, maybe it could be a person, because yeah, people kind of compare people to drugs and stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe. Picture on the Shelf, I either thought maybe it was you or it could be somebody else.
Um, it could be anyone that misses the sign from someone struggling from mental health because I feel like uh, people ask for help and sometimes people miss the warning signs and it doesn't click or they don't care or let me say they care too late until their picture is on a shelf next to a vase in their ashes.
Okay.
So, picture on the shelf is definitely an analogy um, of someone losing their life to mental health, and people are missing the signs.
Yeah, and like you said, they do that a lot. So
Yeah,
it's they say a lot of the times with suicide is you'll notice that the person is the happiest they've been in a long time. And
yeah,
that's because they know on this date at this time they're going to end it. And so they're just as happy as can be because they just know it's going to end. And people
yeah,
be like, but they were so happy. That's why. So
yeah.
yeah, mental health is a huge issue in this country. So and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
ignored all the time. So
yeah. And I was at a place in my life where everyone thought I was doing so good, and I was above and beyond, and no one knew that I didn't. I just didn't want to live anymore. I mean, I was at a place where everyone thought I was perfect and everyone thought I was on this right track because I made some drastic decisions. And at the end of the day, it just wasn't for me and it wasn't my cup of tea. And then I was dying on the inside because I knew I was neglecting who I really was and neglecting my artistry, and neglecting everything that made me happy so other people could be happy. It didn't click. Um, so I wrote that song. I mean, I wrote the song thinking that that would be the last song I would release, and that I wasn't going to be here anymore. And thank God that I'm still here, and I didn't decide to just take actions on certain thoughts. But that's why I say like, I mean, you could judge me for talking about my emotions and being completely honest. I don't think I sugarcoat anything on this album, nor have I done in any of my other albums. It's just this was a whole new side that I've just never talked about.
and you are a pretty honest person. You have no problem speaking your mind, that is for sure.
It's my biggest downfall,
No,
literally.
I understand that, and I say too much myself, at work and other places to where yeah, it's hard to stop once you if you're that type of person who will just say something for good or bad.
I know.
It's hard to, and people may take it wrong too, that of what you're saying, and
Oh yeah.
you know,
That's why I say I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
but you might be their cup of coffee. You never know.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. So next one is step by step.
Hmm.
So what is I step by step, you just take things step by step through life, is that type of idea?
Um, Step by Step is like maybe one of my favorite songs off the album because I am such a perfectionist that I need things to be like perfect and I need it now. And I've just had to learn that you can't control everything and you can't fix everything that you mess up in a day. You just can't. And I used to have these awful like horror stories and like panic attacks because I felt like I needed to fix certain things then and now, and you just can't fix everything after damage has already been done, and it takes time. It takes like nutrients, like a plant. It doesn't grow every day. Like you have to water it, you have to give it love, you have to give it sun, and that's also the same thing you need to do in relationships, any type of relationship. And I had to be okay with just taking things step by step because if you rush it, it's not going to be, you miss the process of the beauty in doing it step by step, working together. And I just absolutely love that song. And I didn't credit Kyra or Kiki at the end of the song because she didn't want to. But believe it or not, I Kiki, she, believe it or not, co-wrote every song off this album with me.
Oh, okay.
She's an she's an amazing writer. She writes amazing poems, um, and she could write a song. And yeah, I had to learn the beauty in taking it slow and starting from the beginning.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you at some point the process, and and so since you just brought that up, then uh, what is the process of this? Because not every song is a song people should hear. Not every song is good. Not every song, it's just because you walk outside and the sun is shining. Maybe don't write a song about sunshine. Maybe write a song about the
Yeah,
moon.
yeah.
What, how, so when you're going through like your writing process, if it's by yourself or with somebody else, like how, writing a song like, Picture on the Shelf, which is now probably one of my favorite songs. It, do you think at all like, oh, do people want to hear this? Do I want to put this out there? How do you
Um,
decide what goes here?
I think that the only time that I think about how should I say this? It's not until the song is complete and I hear it where I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Um, or I'm thinking about some things that, I mean, some people are gonna look weird or people are gonna be like, why the fuck is he singing about that? But never through the process. When I start a new song, it's definitely how I'm feeling at that moment. And that's the crazy thing that most people that I bring into the studio when they come work with me, they're like, so did you write the song already or do you have an outline? And I was just like, no, these are my emotions today and let's go off of this. It's never like a planned, like, oh, we're going to go into the studio today and we're going to write about lollipops. And no, or we're going to write about the summertime and hanging out with your friends. No, it never happens like that. It's like whatever happened earlier that day or whenever, that's the emotions I'm going to write about.
And are there just where you start something and you're like, ooh, no, no, no. no, we're not going to do that.
Ooh. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely the first five. I mean, I Pisces, Toxic, Heroin, Picture in the South, Step by Step. Those were all no's at first. Those are all
Okay.
no's. Yeah.
Do you have any songs that are written that you feel you are not of the correct age yet? Like, as an example, Frank Sinatra bought the song My Way and kept it for
Uh-huh.
like 20 years until he hit that age where he's just like, now I could sing this song. This song is about my life. I'm at that point. Is there any song that you're waiting to do,
To release,
to record, to do all, like, you got the music, you wrote, it's all written out, and you're like, you know what? I'm just not in the right mindset, or I'm not at the right age, or I'm not, like, this is something maybe I could sing when I'm 40.
I would say I Pisces. I mean, I recorded that and then maybe have had it done for 2 years now.
Okay.
And I was so trying to please two parties at one time, and I that's why I never released the song. I mean, I recorded the song's what, maybe like I think the song's 3 or 4 minutes. I recorded 90% of it. And I was like, this is just too much. I don't know if both parties are not gonna like this song. And then I just realized that, I mean, later down the road, um, one party just wasn't accepting me for who I am. And then I finished the song and added that last minute to it. And then I realized I was like, okay, it's done. And this is how we're gonna start the album because it sets the tone and the story that I want to take people on. So yeah, I definitely didn't release that for years, 2 years.
Yeah, and it is a good song to start it with, so it kind of sets a tone for the
Yes.
rest of it, and I think that's important, that at the beginning of an album that you set the tone for what it is.
Hmm.
And I've heard some albums where the first couple songs are like totally different than the rest of the album, and it kind of turns
Yeah.
me off because it's like, oh, I thought this is what the album was going to be like, you
Yeah.
know. So it's so I think, because what do you have? You have on the on your first one here, Biggest Battle, Treasure is the very first song
Yeah.
on that, and then Focus on Me,
Yes.
you know, would be on your second one. So, on My Terms. So, do you think those are good songs to start off the CDs with? Like, this kind of sets the tone.
Biggest battle, yes, treasure. Because that person that I wrote the song about, I was infatuated. I mean, I'm still infatuated with the person today that I wrote that song about. And it set the tone for the album because it was a very light, poppy, really like catchy beat. Focus on Me, the album was a lot more sexual and a lot more serious. And this is what I want. This is what I'm gonna get. And I mean, I'm not gonna take no. And Focus on Me really sets the tone as well. It's like it was. I mean, pretty like mandatory. Like focus on me. Um, I'm gonna please you. How do you want to come? And I'll do it. Really.
See, you're an honest guy. So there you
Yeah.
go.
So Focus on Me for All My Terms really sets the tone for that album. And I hope that I Pisces sets the tone um for Ivan because before I Pisces was actually Ivan Part One. And then number seven, which is Ivan, that was Ivan Part Two. And I just switched those around.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, cool. Okay. Then the next song I kind of took me a little bit by surprise. It seemed very uplifting, and which is a whole nother level.
Hmm.
And I wrote on here, uplifting, don't take people shit. So
Yeah.
hearing certain things in there, it's like it's okay to be different. It's okay to, if you're overweight, it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
did I'm taking that's the right impression? Just,
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a again, one thing that I feel like we've been saying is like you're a very honest person. I'm a very honest person. I mean, I didn't get these love handles by drinking water. I got these love handles by drinking, I mean, eating the food that I love. I mean, I'm not the
Yeah.
slimmest person. I mean, I know I'm not where I want to be, but then at the same time, I do love who I am now. And who I am now attracts X, Y, and Z. And I like X, Y, and Z. And it's okay to not fit the norm. And it's okay to not be a size 32, 32, which I used to be, but now I'm not. And like, it's okay to love those processes of change. And just to recognize that, I mean, you could still be that bitch in all stages of your life. Even when you don't think that you're that bitch, you are still that bitch. And I had to learn that. I had to learn it all over. And that's a beautiful process, I think, with this album is I had to learn majority of what I knew all over because of other people in my ears. And I just found out who I am by myself, for myself, without anyone else's opinion.
Yeah, I've noticed that people, when they attack, they attack what they can see.
Yeah,
I'm diabetic, but nobody goes, F you, you stupid mother who has diabetes. They don't do that.
yeah,
I had a customer come in to my job, and there was a misunderstanding, and every out of his word, out of his mouth, or words, was fat fuck. Listen here,
yeah,
you fat fuck. No, I want you to do this, you fat fuck. And it's just like, that's not my name. I know I'm
yeah,
overweight. Are you telling me something I don't know? But it didn't
yeah,
make me feel bad because I'm okay with who I am. I mean, that's just, I don't want to be overweight, but I'm okay with it. It's
yeah.
eventually things will change. But it's like
Hmm.
they tend to focus on things like that. So when you hear a song like this, it does make you feel better because
Yeah,
it's and there are more commercials and movies and stuff with people who are overweight or have disabilities or whatever, where they're being more included, which is nice.
yeah,
But it's funny, is the guy who was calling me a fat fuck didn't look like the pillar of health either. So it's just like, okay, you look like you could probably lose a couple pounds. you
yeah,
know so it's, I think it's good to have songs like that.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, was that the first song? That was the first song I wrote for this album.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the first song that I wrote for this album, which is the theme song for uh what movie is that in? My Little Nightmare for Joe Lujan.
okay.
So yeah, that song was featured in that movie before the song was even released. I mean, it's not even released now.
Okay. All right. So you have two. How many more songs do you have in Joe's films or in anybody else's? Eventually, I want one of your songs in my film. I just want it to be worth it.
Yeah. Um I think those are the only two. There's been multiple directors actually out here in Las Vegas that have asked me to have songs in my albums, and I mean, I mean, let's make the record straight. I didn't want to be in your song or your movie because you're not a good person. You think you're the shit when no one really, really likes you. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just like your actions are really rude, and I'm glad my songs aren't in your movie. So, yeah.
I guess we're not going to get a hint of who that person is
Um,
or what
I would
movie.
say, um, you know, there's a certain producer out here in Las Vegas who he thinks his shit don't stink, and he tries to be a part of everyone's movie. He tries to get everyone's money for other movies, and you're just a lame. You're like your true colors have like been shown. People know. I'm not going to name the name because, I mean, we both know who this person is, but I mean, I'm not even going to like,
from what you've told me, I have an idea. So that's yeah.
yeah,
So do you? This has came to mind because we're talking about films. It used to be back in the day, and I don't know if it is anymore. You wanted your song on a movie soundtrack. So when
yeah.
you had a film that was primarily all songs, you wanted
Uh,
that on there. Is that still a thing today? Is that something that you would do if somebody included one of your songs with like 10 other people on a soundtrack for their movie?
oh, absolutely. I would love that. The only thing that the reason why I would say no to that happening is the sound has to be the same. And when I mean sound, the quality of music. Because it would suck if I or someone else has an amazing song and it's on a movie soundtrack and the production or the production is not as great or it's not mastered and the levels and the sounds are all over, then it kind of deteriorates that person's song or my song. So I mean, I would love to be on a soundtrack, um but I just think that it has to fit, you know what I mean?
Because there's like I'll use Fast and Furious as an example, is they will have a separate soundtrack for just the score, the music, and then they'll
Yeah,
bring out the soundtrack that has all the bands on it or just people. And I will normally take both because a
yeah,
lot of the times the soundtrack it's not really, even though it's Fast and Furious, it's not really drivable. Like you're,
yeah,
but the songs, like you could
they
totally
are.
drive to those songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I normally would not listen to that type of music, but
Mm.
because they're all kind of gathered together and you're driving, let's say even if it's like to LA, it
Yeah.
matches perfectly.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, so that type of thing you could see, yourself, on one of those soundtracks.
Oh yeah. I think that is it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done.
Well, that's right. It's going to be done. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Um, so now the next one on here, and this one you sing in two different languages, and that is Ivan. And
Yes.
what's the other language that you're singing in? So one is English.
It's Spanish, John. You didn't know that was Spanish?
I'm just letting people know what other language
Oh,
it's in. Yeah, I know it was Spanish. But yeah, so you're English and Spanish. How do
yes.
you within the song know what to keep as Spanish and what to keep as English?
Um, I feel like what I didn't want people to know off the bat was in Spanish. Only people who, I
Oh, I
mean, speak
ruined it for
Spanish.
you.
I
Did I
know.
ruin it?
I mean, it is whatever. But no, yeah, what I wanted people to get, obviously I speak in English, they're gonna understand, but I mean, majority of my listeners, I would say, don't know Spanish. So the ones who do are gonna be like, fuck yeah, you said your shit.
Okay, I do not speak Spanish, but I do like songs. The bands that I like will sing, yeah, they'll be in English and then they'll sing in French, and I'll have absolutely no idea what they're singing about, but it sounds nice. It sounds good.
Yeah. I felt like the beat was a little bit more like Latin, like tropical type of vibes. And I felt like some Spanish could go in there, and that's what I did. And I mean, I love Ivan. Yeah, like, I mean, I work with a lot of artists out here. I like write songs for other artists. I mean, let's like, I know Joe wanted to buy Ivan from me.
Oh,
He really liked that song. Yeah, he did because I got focus on me from him. He didn't really like the beat and he didn't like the direction that it was going in. So I was like, "Can I have this beat?" And um I took it over and I completely switched everything about. And then now I would say "Focus on Me" is a song that people would know from me. But he wanted to do. Ivan. And honestly, I would have said yes to him taking this song if it wasn't. I mean, I wrapped this whole album around this specific song. So I
Huh.
was like, ugh, then what am I gonna have after? So, um, but teaser, this is not my only album that I'm releasing this year. And yeah, he'll definitely be on the remix for that song.
Okay. Yeah, and Joe sings himself, and he's been
Hmm.
on your two albums, and you guys have collaborated. And
Yes.
I think he said that he was going to release his own album at some point. At some point.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm waiting just as long as every other motherfucker out here.
Yeah, and I wrote down here for Ivan, I wrote love yourself so you can love me. So I think that's actually one of the lyrics of the song. So
Yeah.
is it kind of saying like if I'm a negative person, if I'm down on me, if I
Hmm.
think I suck, how are you gonna, I can't love you if I don't even like me. I'm a
Yeah.
turd. So
Yeah.
is that kind of, like turn that around and love yourself. So then,
Yeah. Because it's hard. Like, I mean, I learned something from someone that I actually look up to. Um, I'll say his name, Mr. Salas, and he told me that you got to take care of yourself before you could take care of anybody else. And I used to do it the opposite. And then I questioned myself and was wondering, why am I depleted and why do I feel so empty? And I started just focusing on myself, being good. Can I maintain myself before I can maintain other people? And now I'm in a beautiful place in my life where I'm focusing on myself and I'm doing shit for myself. And it's, I like it. It feels good. And I'm proud of myself. I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes, but I'm proud of myself for,
when we do, people then say, "Oh, it's your ego. Get off your high horse," and it's like, but if you're proud of something,
I mean, we
you
could be
know,
proud of everything else, like why can't we be proud of ourselves? We put a lot of fucking work into ourselves. We're the one who waking ourselves up to go to work, to do stuff that like will hopefully one day put us on the map. No one sees the sacrifice that you do other than yourself. So every once in a while, you better be proud of yourself. The fuck?
yeah, I'm going to be interviewing my friend Cliff, because he's with like Scream Factory. If you look at some of Joe's Blu-rays that are from Scream Factory, they say produced by Cliff McMillan. And now
Mm,
he's over at Arrow, and I'm going to be interviewing him about physical media and stuff like that. I've known Cliff for like 30 years, maybe
wow.
longer. And I told him when I saw him last how proud I was of him that he went from a theater manager that I used to work under to one of the top guys at these distribution houses, and how he truly achieved his dream.
That's
And
amazing.
he's, oh well, thank you and everything. And it's like, no, dude, seriously, I'm proud of you. I'm not joking. And I think you need that. You need to hear it or you need to say it to yourself, because
Hmm.
he achieved, out of all of the people, I'm not going to say, well, out of all of our close friends around that time period that were like in the movie theater and all that type of stuff, he really is the only guy who did what he wanted.
Period.
So it's yeah, so you need that. You need to feel proud of yourself,
Oh
you know.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, it gets tiring sometimes if you're working on stuff and no one is like really saying shit about it. And it could be tough sometimes, but then it's like you gotta remember like why you started. Remind yourself that like you started this journey, so bitch, pick up your bag, pick up your feelings, and let's get it done.
Right. And if you just did not do that one thing, that one tiny thing, you would not be on album 3.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's emotional. That's for me to think sometimes, but I mean, it's true. I mean, there was one person that I asked. I was like, something happens, just please still release this album. And he promised me, but he also promised me and reassured me that I am loved, I'm seen, that people do care about you for being you. And that person, damn, where do I begin?
Write a song, write a whole song about
I,
it. Maybe you haven't, it just hasn't come out yet, but
I mean, we'll see.
yeah. So now I think the rest of these are, or almost all of them are duets that you have, or
Yes.
I call them duets. I don't know what the young folk call them these days. But how do you decide who gets to sing what, who gets to be on what song? How do you decide just that you want to work with a person? Like, do you hear their voice and go, you got a good voice, you got to be on my album? Or are they like, Chris, please, I do have a good voice? How do you choose all this stuff to work with somebody?
Excuse me. With this album, I believe the next song is it Escape, right?
It is Escape, yeah.
Okay, so Escape with Tana Marie, that would be a collaboration. And the reason why I say collaboration is when I got the beat, her and I wrote through every process and we did vocal production and everything from scratch. Like it was a very 50-50 type of song. Like we laid some verses down and we didn't like it. And that one was a really interesting and beautiful um, just learning opportunity because I've never had a vocal beast like her come into the studio and quite literally um out sing me. I'm not trying to say like I have this amazing range. I mean, I have a quite big range for a guy, but I mean, when she came into the studio, she blew me away and I was like, okay, so how do I learn from her? And she taught me that not everything needs to be belts or there's beauty in the your high notes, or I mean, not your high notes, your falsetto, and there's beauty in singing stuff in your lower tones. And we worked that song 50-50 and amazing record with Tana. Appreciate her. And that song actually came out today. That's the only song that I released that came out today. And tomorrow I will be posting the cover art.
Oh, the cover art for the CD?
Yeah, for the
Or
album.
for the whole album? Oh, okay.
For the whole album.
So is Escape like the single off the album?
For right now, yeah, the first
For right
one.
now. Okay. So when who approached who? Like how would you try, how would, like,
Mm.
I've never done karaoke with you guys. So as far as you know, I have the greatest voice ever, or I have the worst voice ever. If I came to you and said, "Hey, Chris, let's write a song together," why would you believe I could sing or do it or whatever? I mean, I'm John. I mean,
So, um, I would say about 2 years prior to me reaching out, I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, let's work on a song together." I had been like around town, like going to like shows and stuff like that. And I've seen her perform multiple times. That girl is amazing. Love her voice, her range. What she sings about is about a lot of like body positivity. And I just fell in love with who she was as a human when she got on that stage and just showed us like who she is. And I reached out one day thinking that she was gonna say no because she she just has an amazing voice, and I bet a lot of people ask her to be on her songs, and she was like, "Yeah, let's get in the studio." It was quick. Like I messaged her, she said, "Let's get into the studio ASAP." I reached out to my producer. He had an availability later that week, and we started recording. that song has been done for maybe a year and a half, and they barely just released it. So I've been sitting on, I would say, a few songs for years.
Okay. And what did I write down here? I wrote oh, that's what I just asked you your question on that one. So okay. So then the next one on here, this is my favorite song, Brother.
Mm.
I really like this song. And this has a it's a male voice that you're singing,
Mhm.
with. It's another duet. And
Yeah,
but you do kind of you list things a little differently. Sometimes it's like a I think it's an X. So it's like
yeah,
you X somebody, and then sometimes it says you featuring. What are the
yeah.
differences in those type of things?
So the collaboration when it says Chris Ivan and Tana Marie, that's a collaboration where we are starting it from scratch. This is we are working with it hand to hand, throwing out ideas. For Brother, I recorded that song, created the beat by myself, laid down my parts before I asked that other person to be a part of the song. And I said, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this song? You have this time frame to this time frame. We'll do the chorus together and harmonies." I would say that's more of like a feature.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
actually Roman X is actually my brother, like my
Oh,
biological brother.
so I took it that the song is about brothers. So
Yes,
it's
yeah.
yeah, yeah. What is Escape about?
Escape, I would say, with all the crazy shit going on in this world, life could be hectic and life has some hands and life will knock your ass on the ground. And then you that's the beautiful part of life is like life could be fucked up, but then you have that one person or that makes everything go away and makes things home. And I want to be that escape for that one person that we could be going through X, Y, and Z, but when we know that we're in each other's arms, we're safe. And that's home. And I had to learn that the hard way. Um, but now I'm more appreciative of the person that I'm very close to and kind of sure can open up about, yeah, yeah,
Well, we all make mistakes, and
yeah,
there's always, you think that there's the right thing to do in the moment, and then when you do it, later you're like, oh,
yeah,
I probably shouldn't have done that. Sometimes it's for the better, but sometimes it's for the worse. So
yeah,
and and then Brother would be about you and your brother. Is that why he's singing on it?
yes. Well, I mean, I would say that yeah, I have multiple brothers. Um, but Roman is the only one that can sing. And I remember we used to be in choir all the time, and we would like just like trying to like have these vocal agility battles and like all this fun stuff. So I asked him to be a part of that song. And even when we were recording it, we were arguing. Like we were arguing, I mean, like brothers. Like it was yeah, it was fun. And then when we got him in, we were arguing like, where the fuck do I even have you on the song? It was that beautiful brother relationship bond. So I definitely wanted him to realize that I'm here for you. And it's not just for my specific brother Roman, it's for all my brothers. Um Malachi and Jonathan. I mean, I'm always gonna be here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't have a brother. I mean, I have cousins. I'm an only child and stuff. But for some reason, I really liked Brother, even
Yeah.
though it's possible that I might relate more to I Pisces in a way.
Mm,
But definitely picture on the shelf because I do suffer from depression and take an
yeah.
antidepressant and stuff like that. So it's yeah, there's definitely songs on here that I can really appreciate. Dominoes, that's another duet. And now that's about setting up dominoes, and then somebody accidentally knocks them all over, and you spent
Yep.
like 10 hours setting them all up. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you stepping on my dominoes? Right? It's about the game dominoes.
Yes, that is exactly what it is
Yes,
about.
I got it right.
Um, I misspelled it on one of like the teasers when I think it was the second one out of three, and I forgot the E in it, and someone messaged me and asked if this song was about like the pizza Domino's because that's how it's spelled. I was like, no.
I
I had to
mean,
fix that in the last one.
sure, why not? I mean, REM has a song called Star 69. So, I mean, if they could just make a song about hitting Star 69, why can't you do a song about pizza?
I know. I mean, I wouldn't beat that past me. I fucking love pizza. I'll probably write a song about cheesy pizza, probably an analogy, and people won't even know. Like, who knows? Like, my dumbass would probably write a song about pizza and its analogy about having sex. It's creamy, it's cheesy, it's all above. I don't know. But no, yeah. Domino's. I wrote that song, and my favorite producer ever. His name is Adam, Atom, like the actual like chemical atom. He's amazing. He created this beat for me, and I asked him. I was like, instead of you just creating a beat for me and just giving it to me and like letting me do my thing on it, let's do it together. Let's start from scratch. Let's write this together. Let's figure out what we want to sing about and what we don't want to sing about. And I would sing this song is about cutting people off that are long overdue and just letting that domino fall. And let's see what the ripple effect is once one domino falls. So once you cut off one person that is negative, let all those people fall off.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I get it. That's
It's
yeah,
a ripple effect.
yeah. Because it's true. You cut that one person off and that whole section is basically
It just
gone.
falls. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Huh.
crazy. Now listen to the song and the lyrics, thinking about why we created it like that. It has such a deeper like level and like meaning to it. Like I fucking love that song. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's I always find it funny when people don't get, like allegories or just meanings or whatever it could be. Since I'm a movie guy, I'll use the original Night of the Living Dead from 1968 is all about communism. It's not
Yeah.
zombies, it's communism. And then,
Yeah.
like Dawn of the Dead that came after that in the 70s is, all about consumerism. But,
Hmm.
but people just see it as a zombie movie. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm making a joke about dominoes, just somebody kicking them over because they're on the floor. But but yeah, I mean, dominoes, they do have that effect. It is a domino effect
Hmm.
that when you cut somebody out. So I
Yeah.
wonder, how many people, yeah, because I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the song again to fully get that effect. I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't about the game dominoes, but it's like, what is this about? What is this really about? And so I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to that again because that I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So that song, I mean, you could say that it was like the first one that I wrote for this album. Um, well, no, because let me take that back. Whole Another Level was specifically written for Ivan. Dominoes was actually supposed to be on um uh on my terms. So this song is about 3.5, almost 4 years old. And I just never it didn't fit none of the albums. I didn't like how it sounded with any of the other albums. And to be honest, I would actually that Dominoes is a song that almost would have been a song that I just created for me and my closest friends because we've all had it for years. We love the song, and I just think that it's time for people to just hear it.
Okay. Do you consider your CDs to be kind of like concept albums? Like if you listen to it from song one and go all the way through to the last track, that it is telling a story?
Um, the first one, yes. Biggest battle, yes. On my terms, no. Ivan is definitely a concept album.
Okay.
Definitely.
Do you like concept albums? Like, do you have you? I mean, you've
Mm,
made one, so I guess so. But do you, when one of your favorite bands has a concept album, are you kind of like, oh, I just want
so,
music?
no, I am actually not. When I listen to music, I don't like concept albums. And to be honest, the music that I listen to is like hardcore hip hop and
Oh,
um hardcore female hip hop. And yeah, I listen to a lot of female hip hop, and I do not create music like that. Like my music is completely different. So the stuff that I listen to on a day-to-day basis is nothing like what I create. I love female hip hop, and I love Brazilian Portuguese music. I love listening to I love Brazilian music. And yeah, I listen to some of my favorite artists um are not even of this country, like Netta. She's an Israeli artist. Conchita, I think she is from um Austria. Yeah, some of my favorite artists don't even sing in English. And the ones that I do listen to in English, those girls are talking about the pussy and the clit and the booty hole and all that good stuff. And I love it.
so who then are your biggest influences, or do you have different ones per album?
Um, I would say my biggest influence, um, um, I would give two. Um, and they've always been my influences throughout every album because I love how honest they are. And I would say Demi Lovato. Demi
Okay.
Lovato has been through a lot, and she does not hold back when in the sense of being transparent. Um, because she's been through a lot during her life, and she doesn't hide it. It's kind of like this is who I am, and unfortunately, I haven't made the best mistakes either. She hasn't made the best mistakes. I haven't made the best mistakes, and I appreciate her being transparent. And then also Iggy Azalea. I mean, most people would probably not think that I would say that. Um, if I have a collaboration with Iggy Azalea, and I will one day. That's how I know that I made it because first of all, she doesn't work with a lot of people, and everyone has always slept on her. And her pen game is amazing. I know she's a ghostwriter. Listen, like Amethyst, like we know you ghostwriting for a lot of people. That's her real name. Um, and people have always slept on her, and I feel like people in Vegas always sleep on me because one, I'm younger compared to a lot of these musicians out here doing their thing with zero albums, and I have three. Um, I'll have four by the end of the year. Like it's just a lot of stuff that like I think sometimes people don't give me the recognition and just the artist I am. But I've been busting my ass off ever since I was 18 doing it. And I mean, it shows in the product, you know?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
one to
so.
just talk about it and then not have nothing to show. Quite the opposite out.
So interesting segue, because even though there's 12 tracks, number 11 is called Fantasy. And I wrote
Yes.
right after that, ego question mark. Like, is so the way that I heard the song is, this is what you want. This is the future. This is what you're driving for. This is, and without having an ego, without, you're not going to get it. That was my take.
Um, mm, I wouldn't necessarily say ego. Um,
And I don't mean ego in a bad way, like a dick type of ego, but
yeah,
like we
clarify.
were talking, yeah, you have to be sure of yourself. You have to know that what you're doing is good. You have, like you said, you have 3 albums where some people have 0. You have to
Yeah.
know that you're going to perform with a certain artist. That's the goal. You want
Uh-huh.
your song on a soundtrack. You have to know these type of things to be able to get to that fantasy that you want. But and with
Yeah.
that does come a certain amount of ego.
Yeah.
But it
I
doesn't
mean,
have to
yeah,
be bad ego.
you could definitely say that. I think you definitely have to recognize that you could be confident, independent, being a boss. So I would say, yeah, I mean, you could definitely look at that song and be like, you got to know exactly who you are and drive into that because people could see through the bullshit. So it's like, be about who you say, and people fall in love with your authentic self. And I just think that's a super catchy pop song. Even the lyrics, I feel like I just lyrically, I felt like I ate that one. Ate, and what I mean by ate, like I did my shit on that song. Like love that song. And then at the end, it's. I mean, I close it by. Can we put that on? What do I say? Can I put that on my Uh, I think I
Yeah.
said put it on a credit card or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can I put it on my Amex?
Yes.
And that's where I went, okay, maybe he's talking about like that black metal Amex that he's finally at that point, finally that he's made it. And he has that credit card that he could
Yeah.
just put
So
it on.
I wrote. I mean, I think that I wrote a song about yeah, like everything that I would want to be and what I'm going to be one day. Um, but then at the same time, it's not a reality just yet. So that's why I said, let me put that on my Amex. Because I also want people to know I'm not like that just yet. And when I mean just yet, because in time it's gonna happen as long as you just keep on putting in the work. Like, I mean, yeah, you just have to keep on putting in the work. And I I love that song. I love that. There's so many songs that have do I want to say this? So many songs that could have been on this album um, that I just did not put on because I mean, yeah, you heard 11, there's 12 on the album, but I wrote 17 songs for this album.
Hmm.
So there's 5 that are not even there, and hence why I've been saying that this won't be the only project I have this year.
So these are just written or they're actually finished and you're just
Oh
waiting to
no,
put
no,
them out.
no. These songs are sitting on a laptop, completely done,
Oh,
that are, I would say, amazing, top tier. Yeah, it's just they just weren't for this. They didn't fit this project. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
So
So we'll
yeah,
be
that
doing another one of these towards the end of the year then when that album comes out. So we can
yes,
and then
yes,
yeah.
and there's a lot of people a part of that project. And what I would love if we could through like schedule it, John, where not just me, not just you and I doing the interview. I want everyone a part of that project to be on the the one musician.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. I'm able to have on I don't know how many people. I know and I've had 3. So I know I could
Yeah,
do more than 3.
I think I
So yeah,
have
that'd
so
be fun. That'd be
far
great.
6 people.
I think we
Yeah,
could make that happen. Yeah.
yeah. That
If not,
album is like fun.
yeah, then that should be really fun because I know I've done stuff like SteamYard is one where you can have a lot of people on. So there
Yeah,
there are, if Zoom doesn't allow it, there's other ones out there that you could do. So yeah, very easily done. That'd be fun. That'd be different.
it'd be different, and then I think it's cool to get like other people's perspectives. Yes, it's my project, but like it's not that everyone that I work with knows that it's just not my project. I work very close with the people that I um decide to work with, and yeah, I can be a little annoying because I'm like, so do you like this? Do you like that? And I'm very like, again, a perfectionist. So I try to have everything sound perfect and be perfect. And yeah, I'm super excited about that project, but that project's not here yet. So, but Ivan is here, and I absolutely love this album.
Do you like things? I know some bands do sequels. So would there be like
Mm.
an Ivan 2, or maybe a sequel to a song where you would add part 2 or just 2 onto it?
Yes, but I feel like that will be uh way later down the road. Maybe when I'm in my 30s.
Oh, okay. So all right, okay.
I feel like, yeah, this is Ivan is definitely something that I've learned. And maybe if I have like another huge traumatic experience that I put myself through, um,
I hope not, but if you had
well,
to.
well, well, no, let me take that back. Well, I learned from something traumatic that I put myself through, Ivan. Let's say if I go through something else that is very traumatic, hopefully not because of me, but just because of life, that will probably be Ivan part two. Um, and I mean, it's life. It's inevitable. Shit is going to happen, but that's why I say in my 30s because I would that would be a very deep album. And what I've learned from my 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got like 30-20 or 20-30.
Yeah.
Like you're 30 now, but it's 20s. You could do something, yeah, play with the numbers a
Something.
little bit.
Something.
Yeah, something like that. So all right, well that brings us to the end of the CD. So
Yes.
I really enjoyed listening to it, and I can't wait for other people to listen to it. Where can they find your music? 'Cause send me some links and I'll put it down below too.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys could find my music on any streaming platform, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal Music, Amazon Music, iTunes. You just want to type in Chris Ivan. You could type in Chris Ivan Biggest Battle, Chris Ivan On My Terms, or Chris Ivan, my self titled brand new album, Ivan. And yeah, I mean, I love music, but I also love being, what do I want to say? I also just love being human. And I forget sometimes that we're all human. I'm human, and we go through shit and we try to sugarcoat it and we try to learn from it and we try to hide from certain things. And I like to embrace all aspects and emotions of human life. So this, my good friend John Ivan, is definitely going to be my best album. I think people are really going to connect to this album. And I mean, oh, damn, I haven't even sent you the cover art. The cover art is completely different from my first two.
Okay.
Completely different. And that alone is going to give people the thought of, oh, this is different from Chris. This is way different. So,
So when does the album come out?
the album the album comes out March 1st.
Okay.
So, that is very soon. And I'll be posting the cover art tomorrow. Yeah, I'm nervous, excited. Um, yeah, and this is the best part of telling people about the project. This is the time where I'm basically trying to sell myself to new fans, new people, and I love that. Love that.
Yeah, and I want to sell you. So I want new people to hear your music and purchase it and all that type of stuff. So I'll put this up. probably a couple days prior to it coming out, so people have time to watch it. And by that time,
Yes.
you're the album cover will be out, so that way I won't
Yes.
spoil anything like I did the one song. And
I know.
thanks, John,
I know. I
dummy.
mean, you guys heard it first. John says that he wants to sell me. He wants to sell my booty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to
No,
make my
yeah.
rent somehow. What am I
Hey,
gonna do?
listen. If this ass went on sale, you ain't gonna be making it, vibe. You gonna be flourishing, flourishing. Okay, let me tell you that.
See, we talk the way we talk. That's just that simple. So if you
I
guys don't
know.
like it, then tune out, I guess. So that's just the way it
I know.
is.
I will say one thing before we go. JL is my favorite song off the album, and I love it. Um, and it really completes the album. I mean, when you hear from start to finish, it'll really show you the full circle and everything that I went through. But yeah, JL is my favorite song, and absolutely love it. So we'll see. We'll see what comes from. I'm intrigued to see how that music video um is, because yeah, I won't don't want to give it away. This album I am doing combination music videos. So normally I do a music video for each song or something like that, but each music video will have two songs in one. So Toxic and most likely JL will be one music video. It'll have its own storyline in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. And I helped you with the video. I did
You
help you
did
in a way. I did help you. I did.
for Ivan, and we are still going to do that. We are going to do it actually this month. So once I have all the dates and everything, I would love for you to be a part of that, because I just am so excited. Like, you definitely gave me some inspiration there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let people know. I showed Joe and Chris two music videos from Gary Newman, and one
Mm-hmm.
was called Intruder, and that really seemed to hit you because,
Yeah.
well, while I was watching these, I'm like, God, that seems like something Joe would direct, or that sounds like something Chris would sing, and I'm just like, I want to show them this. They may like it, they may not, but
Yeah.
it's and Intruder hit a chord, and it's a great video,
It
great
did.
song, and so I was happy that I could actually contribute finally to one of your videos. So in a way, I did.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this month, and hopefully I could have it out by the first. But if not, I mean, we have multiple music videos ready to go, but I would want to release that one first. But thank you, John, because that I was kind of I was lost in the direction of like what music video I wanted to do first, and like how I wanted to do it. So once I saw that, I was like, oh shit! Like I, yeah, I've been talking about it nonstop. I kind of annoyed the person that is directing it because I'm talking about it a lot. But I mean, it's better than not having zero idea. So it's like, thank you.
Right, yeah, and I'm glad that it was an inspiration. So thank you, Gary Newman, too, for who knew that he would inspire you one day. So
To be honest, I didn't even know who he was before you showed it. I didn't know who he was.
yeah, he's 80s guy that's been out there for a long time. His first hit was a song called Cars, and it's on all the 80s compilations, and
Mm.
he did a couple albums that were concept albums about the end of the world, about the
Oh wow,
post-apocalyptic stuff, and that's where Intruder comes from. You can find the albums on YouTube in their entirety. Uh,
I
um,
love it.
so it's yeah, so I'm glad that can help out. So all
Yeah,
right. So uh in film we say that's a wrap. What do we say in
yeah.
the music industry?
Um, I don't know.
That's a cut? That's a take? That's a
I,
song?
I don't know. I don't know.
You have the
Go
so when
by.
you're in the studio when you're finally done, there's nothing that's said, or do you guys just go, all right, we're done, we're out of here?
Um, yeah, we're like, all right. I mean, maybe that's it. That's it. It's done. Like, Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of just going on. I don't know what to say. We
Yeah,
don't say no shit. We don't say shit. We're like, all right, the album's done. This is it. Send me the waves. Send me the masters. This and that. And I would say go buy the album and go stream it. Ivan by Chris Ivan. Um, yes. And before I get off of here, Jolin Han will have new music this year. Yes. Desi will have new music this year. Kiki will have music this year. And shout out to Echo. That's another producer I work with. Y'all sleep on him. And thank you to Blake for also having his hands on this, and Adam and Hannah. So thank you for everyone a part of this project. It means the world.
There you go. Okay. All right, everybody. So yeah, go buy Chris's CD and stream it and do all that good stuff with it. So physical is still better. I still love streaming, but you know, physical
Yeah,
is better if you can just get that. And these are his other two that you can also pick up. So pick up
yeah.
those also. And then all right. So this is a wrap, I guess.
A
We'll just say that.
rant. A rant. One filmmaker, one musician.
Yeah, one musician, one CD. So, all right, everybody, take it easy, and I will see you on the next one. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.